Hi everyone, Memorial Day weekend just a few days away. In Colorado, Memorial Day weekend often considered the unofficial start of the summer season, and for many folks, the summer season means boating season. But fortunately, last year was the deadliest year on record for Colorado waters for the number of deaths that we saw here. So we want to try to start the season off right this year, go over some basic safety guidelines that you want to follow, and hopefully prevent some of those tragedies that we saw last year. We're here with Joey Livingston of Colorado Parks and Wildlife. We're going to talk about a few different things, ranging from new laws to new programs within Parks and Wildlife to hopefully keep people safe this year. A few weeks ago, we covered a story regarding some new legislation happening up in Denver regarding the required age for driving a boat here in Colorado. Now, just to be clear, this doesn't actually go into effect until 2024, but doesn't hurt to get a head start to explain to people who will soon be allowed to drive a boat and who won't be allowed to drive a boat soon.
Yeah, so Governor Polis this month signed a bill changing the age requirements for operating a boat. So now children 14 to 17 can drive a boat, but they must take a boater safety course beforehand and keep that certification on them when they're operating a boat. This brings us in alignment with many of the other states in the country.
And no one under 14 can drive a boat, period?
Correct.
As of next, I think, June of 2024?
Even currently.
Yeah,
currently the 14 to 16-year-olds, 14 and 15-year-olds have to take the course to operate a boat. We're expanding that to 16 and 17-year-olds as well.
Great information. Lake Pueblo, unfortunately, last year was the site of a number of fatal cases involving drownings or other boating related deaths last year. This year, you guys are doing a few extra things to keep people safe down there. For example, if people are launching a boat at the boat ramp, one of many boat ramps down at Lake Pueblo, they may see some new faces down there. Talk about the ambassador program you guys are using right now.
Yeah, so we're expanding a volunteer ambassador program focused on water safety at Lake Pueblo. So this year they'll be in more locations, on more dates, and you'll see some of our volunteers that are passionate about water safety. They'll be out there educating people about boating safety, water safety. They'll have some fun trivia wheels and things for the kids to get them engaged, and just being a presence out there to make sure that people are seeing someone talking about water safety before they get out there on the water.
Now, will they have the power to issue citations as well, or they're mainly for educational purposes?
They're mainly for educational purposes, but they'll have a ranger on speed dial.
All right, Colorado Parks and Wildlife also working on a very exciting program for people specifically at Lake Pueblo in partnership with the National Weather Service. We've talked a lot about the fast changing conditions at Lake Pueblo over the last year or so, because that can be responsible for a lot of people on the water being caught off guards when the winds suddenly change direction or change in intensity. What are you guys doing with the Weather Service to hopefully keep people safe this year?
Yeah, so National Weather Service is creating Lake Pueblo as its own geo area. You can sign up for alerts to get alerts of when those weather conditions are changing rapidly. And it's also always important to use your eyes, use your senses, look around. You can usually see some of the weather coming in as well. So make sure you don't rely only on those alerts. Use your senses as well.
So just to be clear, if someone's on the water or within that geo fence that's established by you guys, and the weather conditions are about to change, they will get some type of alert on their phone or other device. Hey, be ready, some weather's moving in?
Yes.
That's fantastic.
Yes, they will. It gives you an opportunity to get off the water safely as quickly as
And just to be clear, it's not up and running just yet. It will be probably the next couple of days, if not weeks, but stay tuned to the Lake Pueblo Facebook page or the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Twitter pages as well for when that program is up and running and how to sign up for it. We'll be sure to pass it along on KRDO.com as well. Lake Pueblo, obviously very popular, but it's not the only place in southern Colorado where people do enjoy the water. The Arkansas Headwaters Recreation Area, which really goes from Salida all the way down through kind of the Canyon City area. It's not the typical state park because it's very linear, stretched out a long way. You guys are doing a lot to educate some of our younger water fans on the safety that they should be following.
Yeah, so Colorado Parks and Wildlife, in partnership with other organizations in the Arkansas River area, created a program for third graders where we fit them with life jackets, teach them river safety, and then as they grow, life jackets become too small, they can actually exchange those life jackets for a full-size life jacket when the time comes. It's a great chance to teach them about water safety, get them involved so they understand the dangers, and just give them the tools that they need to be safe out there, and maybe educate their parents as well.
Unfortunately, adults sometimes need reminding as well of the importance of life jackets. We've got a number of them laid out here for us, and I know some people always complain, well, it doesn't really work for what I'm doing on my paddleboard, on my kayak. I don't really need one in a boat. But really, there's a number of different sizes and styles that should work. Could you kind of talk about some of what we have here, and maybe some of the accessories also that can help in addition to just the life jacket itself?
Yeah, so there's a variety of life jackets on the market tailored to different uses. You have life jackets like this one that's a little slimmer at the top. Gives you more movement if you're trying to fish from a kayak. It's a little lower form so you can fit in your kayak. And then you also have your bigger ones, like these ones down here, that cover more of your body. These are great for tubing or skiing. But there's a variety of them. There's type 4s that are inflatable, that just are very slim and very small. If you fall in the water, you can inflate it. Those ones are a little bit more pricey, but are a little bit cooler, a little slimmer and easier to have movement if you are trying to fish. Also, you can always keep your some safety devices on your life jacket. We have little whistles here that you can get at most of our offices. If you fall in the water, you have a sound-making device to blow this whistle, gather attention to yourself. Sometimes when you're out on the water, it's very wavy. Visibility can be pretty low for someone that's in the water, so having a sound-making device can help other boaters and rescue crews find you.
Life jackets, I think, first and foremost, need to be paramount in a boat. One thing worth mentioning, I think, that people may not have thought about as much is the water temperature. Last year at Lake Pueblo, most of the fatal cases that we saw were earlier in the year when the water is still cold and hypothermia really becomes a factor. So really early in the season, not that it's not important later on in the season also, but especially earlier in the season when the water is cold and without a life jacket, hypothermia may kick in and make it really hard to move your arms and legs, and that at the end of the day ends up causes you to drown as much as anything else. Really important to think about. And one more time, everyone in a boat has to have a life jacket for them. 13 and under have to be wearing the life jacket at all times.
That's correct. Right? That's correct. And important to note that paddleboards and kayaks are considered vessels as well. Life jacket requirements apply there as well. Many of the deaths that we did see last year were from paddleboarders or kayakers, even some swimmers from shore. So even if you're on a smaller vessel close to shore, still important to make sure you're wearing your life jacket. Over 80% of deaths on the water, they were not wearing a life jacket. So bottom line is life jackets save lives.
Don't underestimate the conditions. Make sure you're protected just in case. Joey Livingston from Colorado Parks and Wildlife, thanks for spending some time with us. One more reminder, folks, Father's Day is coming up, so if your dad, your grandfather, brother-in-law, whoever it may be, is a boater, hey, this is a great gift around Father's Day weekend. Please be safe on the water this summer. We don't want to have you be our next statistic that we're covering on KRDO News Channel 13.